It's 7 o'clock on the dot, and this is LidLine Sports. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to LidLine Sports right here on Rainier Avenue Radio World, broadcasting live from the beautiful Columbia City studios in the south end of Seattle. O is here. All right. So O's here. I'm here. I am Pep. O is Otis Stevenson, the mighty O. What is happening?
What up, Pepster? How you doing?
I'm good, sir. I'm feeling good today because, I'm really excited for the show. Man, I've been chomping at the bit all day, really, because, we missed last week because of the Labor Day holiday. So I'm really anxious to get it going. So without much further ado, let's give us some appetizers before we hit the main course. We want to give shout outs to Coco Gauff and Djokovic for winning their respective women's and men's tournaments in the U.S. Open in hot, hellacious New York City. I heard it was hot all that time. And of course, the smell of ganja and sherm, weed, whatever you want to call it, was wafting throughout Court 17.
Wow.
Did you catch any of the action, by the way?
I caught Coco Gauff semifinals game. I didn't catch her championship game. But I saw the news. I know my mom's real big on the U.S. Open, so she definitely kept me up with what was going on. I want to give a shout out to Coco Gauff as well, youngest. What's it called? Youngest. Grand Slam champion since Serena Williams.
Oh, so awesome!
That was really
How
dope.
Old is she? I think she's 19, right?
19.
Yeah,
19. Awesome. There's like a shot of her I saw on Twitter of her as a kid at the 2012 U.S. Open watching the championship game. And it's like,
isn't that crazy?
To see it pay her forward, man. Now her taking over, and yeah, man, it's Serena Williams left the game in good hands, man. There's some good young talent out there.
Yeah, that's a dream come true. Shout out Bill Walker Jr., Michael Carter, and all the listeners, our regulars. Andrew Schroeder, I know you're probably busy getting mad at the Jets right now. Man, Djokovic won his, I think, 24th, something like that, Grand Slam. So, he got a big hug from his young daughter after he won the championship. So that was nice to see. Other things happening, of course. FIBA, kind of a, if you, of course, for the U.S., it was, if you don't medal, it's pretty much a catastrophe, disaster,
Agreed.
A huge disappointment, whatever adjective you want to use. So yeah, and they lost to Germany and Canada. So it's like everybody's taking pot shots now, right? Since Noah Lyles had commented about the World Championship in the NBA, blah blah blah. So now, that's the big joke now. So losing FIBA, not even placing a medal. Did you see any of the games, recent ones?
I saw when who'd they lose the first game they lost to? They lost to, was it Montenegro? Or maybe they did beat
Montenegro. No, not them. Gosh. I can't.
Brazil.
Brazil.
No, not Brazil. Oh, I thought they lost the game. Oh, Lithuania. I watched that game.
Yes.
I watched that. That was the game that Jonas Valanciunas bullied them inside, and that was the game that put the glaring weakness for the U.S. on the whole for everybody to see, which is them being too small, killed on the glass. I saw a stat today. Jaren Jackson Jr. was their starting center, right?
Who?
Jaren Jackson Jr., starting center, right?
Yeah, he averaged 2 point something per rebound.
2 rebounds a game. Almost everybody on that roster averaged more rebounds than him. That is,
as a big man, at least
that's
2 rebounds fall into your hands accidentally.
Yeah, I
right?
don't get that. And he's not a guy that's a big glass eater. He only averages like 6, 7 rebounds in the regular season. But to average 2 rebounds a
Come on.
game, and you're pretty much the only big out there for
Yeah.
most of the time. Yeah. That was pretty. Josh Hart was a leading rebounder, and I mean he's a good rebounder, but to be the guard, that
Yeah, he
shit
can't be your
happened.
leading
So
rebounder. Yeah. Hey now,
yeah,
Rhonda Dorsey, Nancy Conyers, and yeah, we got the folks out today. Good. I'm glad to I'm glad to see that. Thank you. And listen,
yeah.
if you want to get a shout out, you need to give us a shout out too. You need to text us, and I'll shout you out.
Yes,
So yeah, FIBA was disappointing, and then of course, what else?
Do you believe that? Do you believe the truth of, or that now that the main superstars who usually don't play as of late, do you think that they might pick up now and like, okay, let's round all the guys that we got and let's go create another super
Yeah,
USA
we got
team?
to,
Because
man.
now they're saying LeBron's gonna do it and Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Steph Curry. I believe it when I see it.
Yeah, but look, we know who has the best players in the world, right?
Yes, of course.
I mean, if it comes down to it, but we shouldn't have to use them. It's like break glass in emergency, right? So now we're
And
breaking the glass because
it's like almost like a
it's an
cycle
emergency.
that it's almost like a cycle that this happens like every other 2 Olympics where they'll win one because they've lost in the field before and they get all the guys and then they'll go out and win and then these guys will take a break. But I said this before, Pep. Even if they do go get the guys, do I think that the U.S. is a clear favorite? Yes. But Steve Kerr said it. The gap has closed so much
Oh,
between the
it
world
is,
and the
man.
U.S. now. So
It is very
even if they do go get the guys, it's not going to be a walk in the park. I
listen.
do think that they'll win, but it won't be a walk in the park.
Listen, Jokic has won MVP, right?
Exactly.
A couple times in the NBA. So
And
we
they
know
just
the gap is closed.
and they just won silver without him. His country did. So yeah.
So they got ball. We know they got ballers, right? But we're just being honest here. If we want to get serious and put the best of the best out there, we're gonna win.
Yeah.
99
They better.
100.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And even with a 40-year-old LeBron. So let's not get stupid. But but folks, look, unfortunately, they're necessary. We need them, if we want to continue to, be gold medal winners and to dominate. Dominate's a strong word now because those maybe dominate times are gone. It's more competitive, as you said before. So, man, it's But I want our I want our guys out there. Is that Andrew?
Did you see what he said?
Yeah, just in the seat.
JETS.
Come on, man, stop.
Oh,
Oh
that's
boy,
funny.
that's my guy though, man. Yeah. So, also, man, this has been a crazy week. You heard about we got NCAA football that's that just completed week 2. The UW's 2-0, having beaten Boise State 56-19. And then
I got to go to that game.
Awesome. And then Saturday they beat Tulsa Golden Hurricane 43-10. Pretty sloppy, but they won by 33. So come on, folks.
That's the game I went to. Sorry, that's the game I went to.
Okay. And folks are complaining, about the drops, and okay, I get that. But you know what? If you're going to do that, might as well do it now against these guys, right? Because you'll be more focused. I would think, when they play USC, Oregon, teams of that ilk, I would think they'd be more concentrated against stronger opponents. So that kind of mental miscues, drops, and things like that will be less and less. And of course, like most Northwest teams up here in Washington, they can't stop the run, right? They're complaining about that. So hey, we'll see. Once we get into the nitty gritty of the conference schedule, and of course they've got
Michigan State on the road.
They got Michigan State, and here's another controversial situation with Mel Tucker, coach of Michigan State, having been suspended for inappropriate actions. For those that don't know, I read the story, but I forget all the names involved, and I apologize for that. But there's a woman that's been an advocate for women's rights and sexual harassment and things like that, because herself has been a victim of rape and sexual harassment, and so he teamed up with her, and she had been speaking at different places and universities and whatnot, and he had her come to Michigan State and speak to the team on more than one occasion, and they became colleagues, so to speak. They spoke on the phone, and then unfortunately, he got to the point where it allegedly appears that the relationship got a little bit more comfortable to him, where he thought he could just say and do things that would be acceptable to her, and it was not by any stretch. So I don't want to get into the details here on live radio, but if you want to find out, I suggest all you have to do is look up Mel Tucker, and you'll get the details of what he did and what happened and what's going on with that. Did you see any of that, or
I saw a little bit of it. So just like you said, it looked like it was a professional relationship that turned intimate a little bit, and
on
now
his terms?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was intimate as far as she was concerned, but I think he got a little bit too comfortable with the conversations or whatever was going on with their relationship, and so he thought that he could just take some liberties. And I don't mean as far as being together. I mean over the phone. So I'll just leave it at that. So it's just an unfortunate situation. It's just kind of sad, and it's a fact that they got distractions going on there. So UW is going to Michigan State kind of at a awkward time. So I just hope they can stay focused themselves and just take care of the business and beat Michigan State in East Lansing. So man, it's unfortunate. Let's see. Of course, the Mariners right now they're playing the Anaheim Angels in a 3-game set? I think it's a 3-game set.
Yeah, 3-game set.
Yeah, they got a day off Thursday, and then they play the Dodgers Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's going to be tough. They just finished a road trip, 10-game road trip, and they went 3-7, and it was quite disappointing. They lost 2 out of 3 in New York, lost 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati, and lost 3 out of 4 in St. Pete, where Tampa plays, which is, man, come on. Losing to the Mets. Here's the thing. It's so frustrating because they had leads, right? And I don't mean 1-run leads. I mean 3 and 4, and in a couple of occasions 5-run leads, and they couldn't hold.
Yep. This is the point, and I think these last 2 years that I don't know, the Mariners think that they just have a switch that they can turn on and turn off, and they don't. And just like you said, they got leads, not just that series, but also against Cincinnati. They got big leads and lost that, and there's just not a sense of awareness and not understanding where you're at in the season right now, where you're at in the standings. There should be no reason that they don't treat every game as if it's going to be their last, because they are now only a half game in front of the Texas Rangers for the last wild card spot after just being up a game or like a game and a half in the AL West. So everything needs to be fine tuned and tuned up. Great time to be back. Hurry up and get back home. And get back to winning consistent baseball games. And I think, just like you said, winning series consistently. We know there's a tough stretch coming, but like I said, the playoffs pretty much starts now for these guys. So they're in a race all the way to the end of the season. So pitching has not been consistent. The bullpen hasn't. The only thing that kind of has been consistent is the hitting, which is so opposite for the Mariners. So. It's time to now put everything together and let's get a little bit of gap, and so we don't have to be the last 2 week or two of the season having to be pretty much on edge every game. Let's see if we can get back a little bit of a gap between at least the Rangers,
Right.
at least. So
So,
yeah, it's frustrating.
bad news for today. Rangers won over Toronto, which is kind of good news. You know, you got to pick your poison between those two they play. But the Rangers won 10-4. Right now, the Astros are behind at the end of the 8th inning in Houston. The Oakland Athletics lead Houston 3-0. So that's
Nice.
some good news. But the Mariners right now at the bottom of the second is 3-2. I mean, come on, man.
Already too much.
No Trout, no Ohtani, and you're struggling already. You know, in a battle. Come on, you know. Look, they got to win all 3 of these games. This 2 out of 3 ain't gonna cut it. They got to win all 3, and they got to put pressure on the Astros, and then give the Rangers something to think about. Because the Rangers beat one today, but you know Toronto we know is no slouch, right? They're in it too. So you know, we know that okay, the Rangers won today, but tomorrow's another day for the Blue Jays. And look, I don't know who I want to win that series. You know, I guess it don't matter. Just watch them beat each other up, I guess. So nonetheless, you know, that's how it goes. The Mariners, what they need to do is just keep winning, man. They got to, you know, I don't like when you have to worry about what other teams are doing. I hate it. I mean, if you just take care of your own business, who cares what the other teams are doing? Let them worry about you. I mean, that's the way I want to look at it. But it seems like the Mariners, they don't understand sometimes that they're in a pennant race, right? They think that sometimes, like, you know, and Service kind of ticks me off sometimes with his, well, we'll get him tomorrow, or we're gonna come in there and no, you know, you got to have some kind of sense of urgency. And he's you know, he's so nonchalant. And then of course, you know, you got the situation with George Kirby the other day when he after the 90th pitch, he should not. I mean, I'm listening on the radio, and I said, okay, he's done. He can't pitch another. He can't throw another pitch. He can't. And Service sent him out there. But I'm mad at Kirby too because, dude, don't you have a mouth? Can't you say, Skip? I gave it all I got. I can't.
Competitors aren't going to do that. But I agree with you, though. I agree with you. I mean, but
if it's for the detriment of the team, if you're gassed, you know, you're hurting your team if you go out there. And that's exactly what happened. Because what happened on his next pitch? Bam, 2-run home run.
But you hit it on the nail first and foremost. As a manager, you should know that. I understand that he did a good job pitching for those first 6 innings, and I understand the bullpen's been up and down, but you got to trust it. You got to trust that Kirby did his job and passed the ball on to somebody else. That was just a piss poor decision by Scott Service, and I hope he knows that.
Well, one good move they did today or yesterday, whatever it was, they DFA'd Weaver, and man, he cost them 2 games. You know, I'm sorry, but that guy was terrible.
I think Jared Kelenic also came out the IR as well.
Yes, I heard he
paid Marlowe down.
Yep, I heard he'd been killing it in AAA. So
nice.
Marlowe was the odd man out because Canzone, right? You ain't putting him down because he's pretty consistent and good. So so Mariners, you know, tonight they got to get it done. You know, these next 3 games. So let's hope that they can do that. Who's more frustrating? Is it the Mariners or your Seattle Seahawks?
You know what? I'm gonna say the Mariners because I'll give the Seahawks somewhat of credit that it sounded like in a lot of post interviews that they sounded like that they came into this game just thinking that they were just going to obliterate and just breeze past the Rams, and they got hit with a bomb. So it sounds like, you know, that they knew that they kind of came in here just, you know, thinking that they were going to breeze past the Rams, which I don't even understand why you would think that. I don't care who's on the field for another team, especially it's a division game on top of that, game 1. How could you think like that already? It makes no sense.
Whose fault is that? I mean, when your team comes out like that, I can't say they weren't prepared because Pete said that they were prepared. But you know what? Here's the thing. I'm really getting tired of this. And I'm tired of them always getting out coached by the Rams. Every time they play the Rams, they get out coached. I mean, last year they won both games, but come on, the Rams probably should have won both of those games, and quite frankly, they didn't have Stafford. And speaking of Stafford, real quick, can we stop? And I mean, we as the NFL community. I'm talking ESPN and Fox and everybody else. All these memes and posts about Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is a very good quarterback. I'm not going to call him great. Okay, I mean, you can't throw that word around for every quarterback in the league, right? But the guy is very good. He was very good in Detroit. Detroit was terrible, but Matthew Stafford was probably number one as far as leading his team to comeback wins. Right? When you think of comeback wins, you think Russell Wilson, which is okay, yeah, fine. But Matthew Stafford was the guy, Mr. Comeback.
Yeah.
And so now he goes to LA and he wins the Super Bowl his first year in LA. The man got hurt. He got hurt last year among 100 other guys for the Rams. The Rams ended up 5-12, so they were the jokes because they're the only Super Bowl team to come back the next year and be 5-12. Then this is not a 5-12 team.
Yep, and they're not being taken serious coming into the season.
Yeah, and you know what? They probably like that. They're like, okay. So they came up here and whooped our tails, and they go home next week to play the Niners. Now that should be interesting. But I'm gonna say that Matthew Stafford, if you give any quarterback of any salt, time in the pocket, they will kill you.
Yep.
And Matthew Stafford is a better than average. You could say he's top 10 to 15.
Not mad at that.
And maybe probably 10 to 12, maybe easy. When he's on, healthy. He had zero pressure on him. None. I mean, he was sitting there swiping Tinder, and then he remembered he's got a wife, so he can't do that no more. So he put out a book and started reading. And he was like, "Oh, wait a minute, there's Atwell. Let me go hit him real quick. Oh, there's this rookie running around. Let me get him real quick." Puka Nacua, we're familiar with him here in the Great Pacific Northwest.
I like that.
Yeah. Because he played a couple seasons with the University of Washington. Now, when you heard that Puka Nacua was with the Rams and a rookie, you think, "Oh, cool, nice." But we got our own rookie. He's probably the best receiver in the draft. Well, after yesterday, when you looked at the film, who was the best receiver of the day? That would be Puka Nacua. He had 10 catches for 119 yards. Atwell had 6 catches for 119 yards. Those guys was running all over the place, and people were blaming the DBs. Well, they are at fault for a lot of it. However, if you don't have pressure up front, if you can't make the quarterback feel the heat, your coverage is going to break down eventually, and that's exactly what happened time after time. So, people are saying, Devin Witherspoon, he needs to hurry back. Jamal needs to hurry back. Yeah, Jamal definitely for sure, because he can help bring heat to the quarterback. But it's the same old stuff, man. We don't give heat. We don't bring heat. And then, of course, now you're going to look at, well, did the Seahawks do the right thing in the draft at number 5 by not selecting Jalen Carter?
Good point.
For whatever reason. See, now we got to find out what the reason is, because Jalen Carter is on the field.
Yeah.
And, Jalen Carter had 6 quarterback pressures yesterday. Jalen Carter had 1 sack yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, you said it. I mean, you were surprised that they didn't take Jalen Carter in the draft. We thought it was the perfect need. It fit perfectly. He, fell a little bit because of whatever happened in the offseason. And for us to pass up on that when we knew that was a struggling area for the Seahawks, They did well in the draft, but I think we all can agree that, I think Jalen Carter on the board at 5 probably should have done that.
Well, you gotta figure out, you had needs, but what was the most pressing need? Okay, everybody said it was stop the run. Of course, I mean that was big. That was huge, and it's probably one. But 1A was getting pressure on the quarterback. And then here's another thing: we got Boye Mafe, last year, and he did okay. And then of course during the preseason, all I heard was how great he has been. And then all I hear about is Derek Hall is a beast, right? And then I'm hearing, Daryl Taylor looks like he's ready. Well, Boye Mafe and Taylor did nothing.
Yeah.
Derek Hall, I think, got in for, I don't even know how long he played, because when I looked at the stats, he got 1 assisted tackle. That's it. And, it's good to see Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner had 9 solo tackles.
Yeah, he looked good.
He was balling, right? Yep. So there's no question B. Wags is still the guy, right? But if you get these guys and they're supposed to be prolific in this and that and the other, how come they're not playing? How come Derek Hall wasn't playing? Man, get them guys out there. Man, I don't understand it. I don't know what he's holding back. Bro, I mean, this is a divisional game. I guess if he was playing Jackson, or let's say the Texans, they're not divisional opponents, so maybe you could hold back a little bit, not put all your cards on the table, be vanilla, whatnot. But man, come on, this was the LA Rams in your division, and you're gonna hold back. Anyway, look, when we come back, we're gonna talk more about the Seahawks. I'm gonna ask some questions about about what he saw yesterday, and I got some questions about whose fault this loss was. So don't go away. We will be right back. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hey Seattle, here are some storage tips to love food, stop waste. Onions make potatoes sprout faster. Keep onions away from potatoes. Ripe bananas give off a gas that makes the fruit around them ripen faster. Store bananas away from other fruits. 40% of food in the U.S. goes uneaten. Save money, save food, save the planet. Visit Seattle Public Utilities for more tips.
Women are not an homogenous group.
We face discrimination differently depending on factors such as ethnicity, age, socioeconomic status, and more.
Rainier Avenue Radio is proud to amplify women's voices.
They are the experts of their own lives, initiating conversations within their community about challenges they face, the solutions they're working on, and the opportunities they see.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 for Women's Voices on Air. We know our challenges. We are the experts of our lives.
We are master multitaskers, prioritizing our family, friends, and our faith above our own needs.
Our needs and voices are too often overlooked.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. for Women's Voices on Air.
We tell our stories in our own way.
Hey, this is Paul Pearson. I've hosted the R&B show Star Time since the very beginning of Rainier Avenue Radio, and after years of featuring tracks from the 50s through the 80s, Star Time now plays R&B and hip-hop from the 1990s as well. A whole half-century of soul, funk, hip-hop, and more on Star Time, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio.
We must all remain committed to slow the spread of coronavirus, taking care of ourselves and not putting others in harm's way, especially those already at higher risk of getting seriously ill, including people over 65 or those with underlying medical conditions. If you must be out, avoid crowded areas, stay 6 feet or 2 arm lengths away from others, and wear a face covering. Wash hands frequently with soap and water for 20 seconds, especially after being in public spaces. Avoid touching your face, cough or sneeze in a tissue, then throw it away. Disinfect frequently touched objects. And if you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. Slowing coronavirus means taking care of ourselves while also protecting others. Even if you're not at high risk, these steps should be taken to help slow the spread of coronavirus. We are all in this together.
This is Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Welcome back to LidLine Sports right here on Rainier Avenue Radio .world. On Saturday, our second Memorial Stadium doubleheader of Major League High School football of this season starts Friday at 5 p.m. Ballard at Lincoln, and followed by number 3 O'Day Irish at Rainier Beach. So yeah, and don't miss that. And then
that's a nice one. Okay.
Yeah, and then we've got a live broadcast, Seattle City Council debates, starting District 1, 10-3 at which would be October the 3rd. South Seattle Community College. District 2 is at 10-4. City Theater, 10-10 at Broadway Performance Theater. District 4, October 13th. At the ballroom and at the
UW Hub.
Thank you.
UW Hub ballroom.
There we go. Thank you, Mike. Copy that. 5 is October the 17th at North Seattle Community College, with all debates starting at 7 p.m. If you're just joining us, we were just talking about the Seattle Seahawks. Surprise. Yeah. And their disappointing loss against the LA Rams on Sunday. Bill Walker says that it's Pete's fault, and I definitely agree with that. I'm with you. Who do you think was blamed for this fault?
I'm gonna agree with both of you guys, and I'm gonna start at the top too and say Pete Carroll and the vanilla offense once again that G used to always talk about. Just like you said, is just not doing a great job of managing this game. I never, besides I think it was, besides I think when they marched up the field, when they scored a touchdown to DK Metcalf, I just never felt 100% comfortable with this offense at all throughout this game. Geno Smith just couldn't get nothing going. But it starts at the top and with Pete Carroll, and some things going forward. This man's got to take the lid off the top, as I would like to say, and let's move the ball up the field, man. And that was just an atrocious offensive effort to watch, and just like you said, it was no better on defense in terms of just allowing no pressure in the backfield. Matthew Stafford being comfortable, just like you said, the gunslinger. You give him time to make plays, he's going to do it. The run defense actually did pretty decent. Like I said,
I want to address that. Go ahead.
Just passing, and it's not in the sense of passing of just like you said, cornerbacks not necessarily doing their job. It's just Matthew Stafford had all day to throw the ball. So, it was just an ugly game, and it's reflected in the score.
I want to address the run defense of the Seahawks because it's still an issue. Because if you look at the what happened is the Rams got 3 rushing touchdowns. Okay, so they didn't stop the run. What they did was they managed the run as far as LA is concerned, but LA didn't need to use the run because their passing game was on fire. So the running game was an afterthought. They didn't need to use it. So if they ran 40 times and they got 92 yards, which is less than 4 yards a carry. Okay, kudos. They did much better, right, in managing the run, but they still got problems up front. And then why, may I ask you, does Pete Carroll try and make players into or put players into positions that they're never been in, have no business being in, and yet still thinking that he's some kind of mad scientist in a lab? You got Jaron Reed in as a nose tackle. That man is a pass rusher, defensive end, right? What are you doing? Why are we experimenting all the time and then wonder why it doesn't work?
Yeah, I think just like you said, I'm trying to find a way to, I think, stop the run, and also now it takes away from putting pressure on in passing action. So yeah, you especially as week one. I mean, how do you not already know what we have a game plan going in week one? Like, why are we already experimenting in week one?
Yeah, and why are you always getting outcoached by the Rams? Don't you know them by now? And here's another thing I got a question. Shane Waldron's the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks. Where did we get him from?
I don't know where.
The LA Rams. He was the LA Rams passing coordinator before he came here. So why doesn't? And then people are saying, well, the Rams know our passing schemes because he was their passing game coordinator. I'm like, oh yeah. Then how come he doesn't know their defense?
Yeah, exactly.
He was in LA, right? How come he didn't have schemes to combat that, right? I mean, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah, no.
Sheesh.
I agree. Like I said, the passing attack was atrocious yesterday. Just not being able to get the ball down the field. Geno Smith just never looked comfortable back there in the pocket. 3 catches for DK Metcalf is just, come on, man. Like, it's your number one receiver.
The Rams, Puka Nacua had 10 catches.
Yeah.
How come we can't do that?
Yeah, find a way to get him.
We don't have time to throw. Geno doesn't have time. He's always getting pressure. But if you look at the stats, they had not one person on the Rams got their own individual sack. They had help. Like, if you looked at the stats, Aaron Donald only had 2 tackles and a half a sack. But the thing about it is he dominated so much in the middle and pressuring the quarterback. That's all you heard was his name all day long.
There was something I seen on social media where Aaron Donald had got loose, and Geno Smith seen him coming straight for him and yelled out, "Oh my God!" before throwing the ball.
And then he said, "What the? You know what?"
Yeah,
so I heard it. I heard all of that. Yeah.
Man. Michael Carter's hitting it right on the head, man. The offensive line was just terrible yesterday. I understand that the LA Rams has a good defensive line, but
and we had 2 injuries. I get that, so that does account. We have to account for that. That Cross and Abe Lucas. I almost called him Abe Lincoln. But Abe Lucas were hurt. But still, look, that's what you got backups for, right? They got to be able to do something.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
I mean, they made the team. So obviously, if you make the team, you should be able to handle some business, but not being able to take care of any business whatsoever. The whole team in the second half had, by the fourth quarter, had 1 yard total offense in the second half at that point. And you know what? Everybody knows that I follow 2 teams. People always complain, you can't like 2 teams. Man, shut up. Yes, I can. I mean, I've liked the Steelers since I was like 11, 12 years old, right? And the Seahawks weren't in existence then. And I've explained this 100 times, and I guess I'll have to explain it 100 more. They weren't in existence. But when my home team had a team, then I'm going to follow my home team and cheer for them. But my favorite team is going to be the Steelers, number 1 always. And that's the thing. But here's the caveat. The problem is both my teams in the first half against the Niners, in the first half, the Steelers had 1 yard.
I was watching that game. In the morning. Oh my goodness. I'm just like,
bro, but how does both my teams, one has 1 yard in the first half, the other one has 1 yard in the second half? I mean, I know there's I know the top high school game in the team in the nation, right? The top, very tip top, the best high school team in the nation can get more than 1 yard on the LA Rams.
No, I agree. And the 49ers, they just made the Steelers look silly on defense. Their defense made the Steelers look silly, man.
Sure did.
What's the quarterback's name?
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett, I felt bad for him because I really like Kenny Pickett at Pitt. I want him to do well, but whew, he ain't look too good yesterday.
Nope. Yeah, well, that's it. So yeah, and of course we mentioned this earlier about Jalen Carter. See, here's the thing I can't stand. You know, Pete thinks he's being innovative by doing the opposite of what everybody thinks. Man, will you stop? Jalen Carter was there at number 5. Just take the man.
Yeah.
He addresses the need of which is of your most dire nature need is pass rush. He puts heat on the quarterback, which we do not do. We do not have.
Yeah.
You know, we have an abundance of cornerbacks. Witherspoon might be great. We don't know because he ain't playing.
Yeah.
Carter is out there playing.
Yeah.
Man. Ugh. But you know what? Look, as mad as I am about that game, the Seahawks weren't the only team that was catastrophic yesterday. Who had the worst loss? Other than the Seahawks, I'll list.
Let me list. Seahawks set up. Okay, go ahead.
Bengals, Steelers, Bears, Giants,
Texans.
Nah, Texans. Ain't nobody expecting.
You don't think so? Okay, that's fair.
And almost the Commanders.
Yeah.
But out of those 4, I guess, who had the worst loss?
I mean, you're talking about Sunday Night Football prime time. You go up and put a donut in front of millions of viewers
with your freshly minted quarterback.
Exactly. I was just about to say, with your quarterback who just got paid a lot of money. Saquon Barkley got his money for the year. You go out and put a donut, and then let alone give up 33 points? 40. Put up 40 points. Come on. That's embarrassing. We're talking about a team who, you know, has playoff aspirations, and you do that on Sunday Night Football. That was completely embarrassing. I will say, though, the player performance, that was pretty embarrassing. And I don't know if you want to blame because he's been out or, you know, the weather was pretty bad over in Cleveland or whatever.
It was bad for both teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Dallas got 40.
So, yep. So, yeah, exactly. So, player performance, Jake Burrow looked atrocious in Cleveland. 14 to 31, 82 yards. Just couldn't get nothing going. And we're also talking about another team who has Super Bowl aspirations with all the weapons he has. That was an atrocious performance by him. But, yeah, 40-0 Sunday Night Football. That takes the cake for me.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, no lie told, bro. I mean, whew, I'm glad it was them, better them than us. You know, that's probably what everybody's saying, man.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But you know what? When the Giants signed that guy, Daniel Jones, I'm like, boy, they are going to regret that. I mean, I have seen nothing in him that makes me think that he's the guy for them. They could have went somewhere else to do that. Yeah. Right? I mean, sheesh. Colt McCoy could have done that.
Yeah. I agree, though.
Man,
I agree.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Shoot, maybe they should have traded for Trey Lance.
Possibly, yeah.
Man, he could have done no worse.
No way. Yeah, no, I agree. That was just a bad showing. And like I said, you're talking about a quarterback right here, like who looks better on the ground running it than he does throwing the ball. It's just like, how are you forking over that much money to that guy? Just, you know, it scratched a lot of people's heads. You know, I don't think it was just me and you, Pep. So, you know, it's just game one, but it showed in game one that
you did. Yeah, but it's not. But look, how much better is it going to be next week? They go to Motor City, right? They got to play Detroit. Detroit's going to have a chip on their shoulder because Seattle went to the playoffs last year, not them, right? On the verge of the fact that we beat them 48-45.
Are you talking about the Seahawks?
Yes.
Okay, got you.
Sorry about that. Yeah. I'm sorry.
You're good.
You know what? Like I said, I was anxious for today that my mind is just like racing. I got all this stuff I want to talk about. This little amount of time that we get.
I know.
So man, I'm just trying to hurry up and talk about stuff. So I apologize for that. But hey, my heart's in the right place. But next week it's going to be rough for the Seahawks because they got to play Detroit. Detroit's going to have a chip on the shoulder. They're going to want to, give them a little payback, and they're probably going to get it. I hate to say it, is you looking to be 0-2.
Hey, they have all the momentum. They just went down to Kansas City and won in a really good game. They have chips on their shoulders, and they came into that game with that. So yeah, you're right. Going back home now with the fired up crowd in Detroit, man. I got family in Detroit, man. Love, do or die Detroit Lions, man. They've been waiting for this moment. So yeah,
Yes.
the Seahawks cannot come out flat and vanilla like they did against the Rams going down to
And look,
Detroit.
And Goff, I don't care, all the criticism he gets, but if he doesn't get any pressure, he is going to light that Seahawk secondary up. And I'm not going to blame the secondary as much as I'm going to blame the fact that we're going to be weak up front. And look, and they've got a running game. They got two guys, Gibbs and Montgomery, right? Yep. So, Seattle's going to have to play a mistake-free, get them off the field on third down game.
Yep.
And if you're going to do it, you might as well start right now. Another thing that interests me real quick, in Philly, well, they played the New England Patriots in Foxborough. Rashad Penny was a healthy scratch. I was kind of disappointed to see that and hear that. And then I learned some other stuff. And I don't know how many people know this, but, yes, you have a 53-man roster, but you can't suit up all 53. You can only suit up 48. So that's, some of the time, because remember we talked about LJ Collier always being a healthy scratch. Well, he's a healthy scratch because, look, do you really want him out there? No. But I was disappointed the fact that Rashad Penny is a healthy scratch because I'd like to see what he can do in Philly. So maybe they're saving him for the home game Thursday night, right? Because they play Sunday and then they turn around and play Thursday. So I'm thinking that's what's happening. So I'm not going to get too upset or concerned. I just want him to do well, right? Because he deserves it. He was good for us, except that he got hurt all the time. And I can't blame him really for that. It's not like he wanted to get hurt on purpose.
Yeah.
So man, Rashad, man, if you get the call Thursday, man, I hope you blow it up.
I want to give a shout out to a guy whose name is, kind of in that whole injury plague thing. Can he stay healthy? Tua Tagovailoa for the Miami Dolphins lit it up for the Miami Dolphins.
Man,
comeback win. That was really good to see. I want Tua to succeed, and when you got a guy like the Cheetah as a number one option, man, he makes it a lot easy on you. 11 catches, I think, for 200 plus yards, man. 215, man. Yeah, it was good to see the potential of that 1-2 tandem between them, including and now adding in also Jaden Waddle as well. I really do like
Waddle only had 4 catches, but he had 78 yards. So he had the same as far as yards per catch as Tyreek Hill did.
Yeah. So I think
20 yards a catch, just about. So man,
I think that's the team that I'm looking to see, see if they can make a stride. I think they're fun to watch, and that's going to be a team that I'm going to be paid attention to.
Hey, I picked them to win yesterday. I picked them, to win at LA because the Chargers. Look, they always talk about Herbert. Sound like a fraud. Herbert. But look, Herbert's good. There's no question. But he hasn't won a big game yet.
You're right.
27-0 lead in the playoffs, and they lost.
Yeah,
that was Justin Herbert.
Yeah, you're right.
So I expected Miami to go down there and beat them, and they did. However long it took, and whatever it took, they fell behind. But so what? I expected them to come back and win, and guess what? That's exactly what happened. Yeah. Justin Herbert lets teams come back to win. I hope that's not going to be his MO. but right now it looks like it is.
And then remind our listeners, when does the fraud list start?
Well, the fraud list is going to start next month because I like to get 4 to 5 games in before
our listeners start coming in with frauds already.
Yeah. but I tell you, after yesterday, man, I was like, man, there
was a list.
I might have to start early. But no, I'll start it next month, folks. So beware, be prepared. It's coming, but not right now. I mean, because the Vikings just proved to me that they've been frauds since last year, right? They lost at home to Tampa. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson struggled mightily.
Yeah.
They still won. It was nice to see the Atlanta Falcons get a nice win. Bijan Robinson looked like he's the real deal. The Commanders struggled against the Cardinals. The Cardinals had control of that game for a lot of that time. And Commanders, in my survivor pick was the team I chose. I was sweating. I was like, oh my God, first week and I'm out. Are you kidding me? Yeah, what? But no, the Jaguars had problems with the Colts. Then they ended up winning 31-21. We talked about the Niners. We don't need to go there. The Saints. Oh, the Saints and Titans. Listen, when are the Titans going to learn that Ryan Tannehill is just not that good, not that guy? And what the heck was DeAndre Hopkins thinking going there? With
knowing that they're putting the ball on the ground.
I'm DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm still a top 10 wide receiver. I'm dope as heck, and I'm gonna go to Tennessee to play with Ryan Tannehill. What was? I mean, look, I know money talks, but come on, man. Sometimes you just gotta say, no, I'm not going there.
What about that vanilla offense going on over there in Denver with Russell Wilson and those guys?
Yeah, he threw two TDs.
Yeah, he did.
Half, and then the second half, he thought he was a Seahawk because they did nothing in the second half. He looked at his helmet and was like, "Oh shoot, that's right." Yeah, I don't know. So they lost a tough game. I'm sure Sean Payton will, but it was a tough, tight game. They lost because Will Lutz missed an extra point in the second quarter.
Yep.
That's the point right there.
That was the difference right there.
Yep. The Eagles took care of the Patriots, and so and then the Bears are a little disappointing. Everybody thought that the Packers would be down. Nope. Looks like Jordan Love might be that guy.
Maybe.
So it seems like the Packers always find their guy, and the Bears can't. Because Justin Fields was okay, but
hey, when's a win?
Same old.
Next week.
And the Jets are tied at 13.
Yep. No Aaron Rodgers on the field. Tie game.
That's crazy.
Zach Wilson. I think I'm about done. I'm not gonna just go off of a dive in because it's week 1, but I think I'm about done with the Buffalo Bills. I just think they're one of those teams that will do solid all throughout the regular season, and then I don't know.
Man, I'm with you. To me, I've told MC this many times. To me, this is do or die.
Yeah, Josh Allen and I love Josh Allen. Just his decision making is just he just doesn't know how to throw the ball away. He always has to try to fight for the extra yard. And as a quarterback, you hate to see it. 3 interceptions this game is something that picked off from last year of throwing too many interceptions. Like I said, that's just making bad decisions. Just learning to not just throw the ball away. That can't. You're never gonna win a Super Bowl or big games playing like that.
Do you know who he was throwing to? When he throws, look, it matters who you're throwing to when you get picked off, right? Because when you have a guy like Diggs, Devontae Adams, guys like that, you're going to tend to want to force it, even if it's not there, expecting them to be the guy to do it. And look, it's a 50-50 ball, but 7 out of those 10, the superstar wide receiver is going to find a way to get that.
Yeah.
And so you tend to try to look their way, Stephon Diggs, right? And then if it's not there, you're still going to throw it to them. And if they get picked off, well, that's what happens. So I would like to know who he was throwing to when he was getting picked off. That'd be interesting to see to me.
Yeah. Hey, Pep, can I get a quick little NBA?
Yes, please,
real
right
quick. And it's something we'll hopefully talk about more next week once the facts come out. But I want everybody listening, man. Please say a prayer for Kevin Porter Jr., Seattle's very own. He's gotten himself into a little bit of legal trouble this morning. Was arrested on domestic assault charges. And this is like a kid that man had who battled his way out of adversity, coming from USC to falling in the NBA draft to having his troubles in the Cleveland Cavaliers, and to finally you think he's starting to turn it around in the Houston Rockets, and this happens, and it sucks because this is a guy who just signed a 4-year, $80 million extension, and only $16 million of it is guaranteed, Pep. So we're talking about
only, we say.
I know.
Yeah, but no, relatively speaking, yes.
We're talking about an NBA league where you don't usually see non-fully guaranteed contracts, and a lot of his was due to because of his off the court issues, and for the Houston Rockets to have to protect themselves like that, and almost rightfully so, that they might have did the right thing. I'm hoping that whatever comes out of this, like he finds the help that he needs, and he's still young enough. I hope that he can turn this around, man. Yes. And it's just not on the court issue. The man averaged 17 and I think like 6 assists and 4 rebounds, and he did really well last year.
Solid player.
So yeah, man, I'm. We'll talk more about this next week, Pep, when the facts do come out. But yeah, that's where we're at now.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll make sure we definitely talk about that. Cam
Payne was waived. He's looking for a bigger role. So hopefully he finds that. But yeah, that was about it for NBA news. Dame Lillard still with the Portland Trail Blazers. So, and Christian Wood signed to LA Lakers. Really good pickup for them. Missed that last week.
Yeah. So man, So the NBA is going to be next month, right? It's when they're gonna kick off
training camp opens for the teams that are going overseas. They open up the end of this month, and then everybody else first week of October. And I think we do have a preseason game in Seattle again. So hopefully people turn out for that.
Great, thank you. As usual, you were stellar. So next week we will definitely be talking more. We're going to be getting into more of college football and week 2 in the NFL. So come back next Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. On behalf of my son, right? On behalf of O and Daniel, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. Holla.